Hello and welcome. You've done it. We've done it. We have reached the end of the 2019 Disc Golf Pro Tour Championship, the finale of the disc golf touring season. Folks, we are here in Charlotte, North Carolina. We've got the final foursome. We've got Germinate commentary. Jeremy Koling joining the booth today, finally, by my buddy, Nate Perkins. How's it going?
Dude, it's going great. We got a stacked card to end the season. Chris Dickerson coming off a 9 under par.
He has played great from the first round. Drew Gibson with a 9 under in the qualifier semifinal, bogey free. He is just birdieing all over this course. 33% parked on this course is incredible. Kevin Jones coming here, circle one putting on fire, parked. He's only behind Drew Gibson in that statistic. And the National Tour, reigning National Tour champion, Calvin Heimburg, who is running a hot streak right now, playing incredible disc golf. And we didn't even mention Chris Dickerson, the former Disc Golf Pro Tour champion, getting right into it. Hole 1, 390 feet, tight tunnel, probably favoring a right-hand backhand to bend a shot down to the right and have one drift late towards this pin. Incredibly difficult starting hole. We've only seen a few birdies all week on it.
Yeah, just 3 birdies so far.
Welcome to the 2019 Men's Pro Open card for the Disc Golf Pro Tour Championships. Up first, hailing from Greenwood, Arkansas, representing Prodigy Discs. Make some noise for Kevin Jones.
And Kevin is leading the group in points, but that does not matter at this point. He just has the box starting off now. But unlike the previous rounds, if there is a tie at the end of the round, we will go to a playoff.
So Kevin's actually going mid-range here.
And that is a really bad kick. Anything
Next
off
on the
fairway
tee, hailing
is
from
trouble.
Safety Harbor, Florida, sponsored by Innova Champion Discs, Mr. Calvin Heimburg.
And that's Calvin's excited face. He's really excited about getting into this round.
And you've never seen anyone rip on an eagle like this guy does. I mean, that's full speed ahead.
Oh, wow. Who gets more accurate the harder they throw? Calvin Heimburg.
Wow.
Unbelievable. Oh, my gosh.
That's as good as it gets.
Draw that
Up
back.
next from
Oh,
Fair
we're not
Oaks,
going to see that
California,
again.
Sponsored by Innova Champion
You're going to have to hit that
Discs.
rewind button and watch
He
it again
throws
if you want to
farther
see
than
that
you guys
again.
do. Put your hands together for Mr. Drew Gibson.
He does throw farther than us guys do.
So that's Drew's very first leopard that he got his hands on right there. His
really?
signature team champion leopard.
Still throwing that. Leopard 3.
Yeah.
Luster Leopard 3, I believe.
Yeah, he likes to start this out on hyzer and break it over to the right.
Just a bit wide, and that's a fortunate kick to kick straight down.
Up next from Limestone, Tennessee, representing Prodigy Discs. Put your hands together one more time for Mr. Chris Dickerson.
The Limestone Cowboy. Man of many nicknames. He probably just prefers the reigning Disc Golf Pro Tour champion.
Is that an old country tune?
It is the Limestone Cowboy. Yeah.
I see you, Jerm.
Thank you very much for catching the reference. I'm sure many of you in the audience already shook your head. And Chris, this is looking really nice,
yeah.
but it's starting to drift just a bit left.
I love that we get a full look at Chris's routine because he is one of the most routine-based players.
That's how he got the Robot Chicken nickname.
Okay.
He just does the same thing every time, and that's what's made him so consistent over the years.
He's certainly one of the players that I'll reference mentally when I'm thinking about how to settle into your routine before you throw. I've never seen Drew's eyes before.
What does that mean?
Like he's always wearing this dark shades,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
right? I've never actually looked into his...
And that's a really
Nice.
good approach. There's a little opening on the left side that Drew was able to find. And Kevin's able to jump putt just past the basket, and he'll have to settle for a bogey on the starting hole. Chris does have an outside look, probably from 50 feet. maybe just outside that.
Noticed he's got his finger taped up. I didn't see that
Oh,
in yesterday's round.
And Calvin just, goodness gracious, 20 feet away. Outstanding start. What an interesting format. This is a win your card only situation. There's no scores before, no scores after. It is just 18 holes, now 17 holes, between you and the Disc Golf Pro Tour Championship.
That's a very unique format. The only tournament all year.
Yeah. And it's very interesting as far as pressure goes, because you're essentially playing match play for 18 holes against 3 people, and usually just playing match play alone is enough to make you think twice. And when you're playing match play against 3 guys who are all here because of their incredible golf on this course, it's a lot to take in. Hole 2, par 3, 330 feet. One of the signature holes on this course, I'd have to say.
Oh, yeah.
And it's an island shot. You got to get over this wall here. Any shots that do not land inbounds proceed to the FPO drop zone, which we've seen every day so far. Calvin, I believe, is throwing an AVR X3, maybe a DX.
Really?
A DX AVR X3.
That's a putter, guys.
Yeah. And that is up and in. And Drew is also going with a putter. Going with...
I love the shape that he goes for on this hole. Really high.
Ooh. And that was an early release,
Yeah,
not
it was.
quite committed, but just get over that wall.
Yep.
Okay. Looks like the whole entire card is going with putters here. I know Kevin Jones will definitely be going with the putter.
Yep.
Just
enough.
getting over the wall again. Yeah, but that putter shot, I like that because it really forces the issue of really having to hammer the shot.
Yep.
And a lot of these guys, like we saw with Calvin on hole 1, really improve their accuracy when they go through the full throw. It can sometimes be the in-between distances that are the hardest types of shots to throw,
Yep.
having to pull back on a mid-range or having to
Yeah.
really.
Yeah, the champ himself said that he never threw a shot less than 75%.
Good advice. Chant being King Climo for you. Youngins out there. Look
I
at
just
that.
love that step putt. The way that he lifts
Yeah.
that left leg up and kind of just rides forward with it.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. A little bit of wobble, too.
Oh, yeah.
You know? And I don't reference that in a bad way. It's he wobbles his putts.
Mhm. Yeah,
and
no,
that's like a speed control tactic,
Sure.
I'm guessing.
Macbeth one time said that he wobbles his putts intentionally because it catches the chains better. I don't know if I buy
Really?
that. I don't know if I buy that. But then again, I mean, Paul Macbeth. So.
Really, though,
Calvin?
if you were teaching someone how to putt, Calvin's definitely one of the styles that you would reference right there. Just the straight up, straight back down.
Yeah. You don't want to look at the basket. You don't want the basket to see you. You just want to sneak up on it last second and
Is
let it
he
fire.
hiding? Is he hiding?
It's hide and go seek. And one thing that a lot of our viewers don't know is Calvin Heimburg, one of the best hide and seek players you're ever going to play with.
Stop.
Hole 3, par 4, 609 feet around this, through this gap right there. And then you want to get down through this gap, and you want to be left side of the bridge as the ideal landing zone. Right side of the bridge is okay, but you can see there's that bunker of trees there on the right side that make this angle approach somewhat difficult to get all the way around the corner to this new basket location up here. It's a really fun and tricky technical par 3 or par 4.
Calvin's opting for the backhand. Looks like he's going flippy rock.
And this is back door. If this can keep flying, Okay, it fought decently far. It's going to be a long forehand approach from there, most likely.
So Chris went backhand yesterday, and he's opting for the forehand today.
And if that keeps flipping up,
He's through the gap, but I think he's
Yeah.
going to be a little tight. And
Yeah.
that last tree is going to really pinch him off. Oh,
and Drew's kicked right, and
he almost had it.
Drew's had a great season himself, winning the Portland Open, getting here by playing incredible golf so far at Hornets Nest Park. Kevin Jones obviously having an incredible season, the winner of the Idlewild.
Yeah, Drew won the Portland Open.
Yep.
And then did not finish in the top 10 in any other event all year long.
In the Pro Tour?
Yeah.
Wow.
Interesting, right?
Yeah, it is interesting.
Kind of shows you what type of player
he has
is
that
capable
firepower.
of throwing as good as anybody
Right.
out there.
Right. And Kevin having to go through the back door, going through that forest that we saw, caused trouble the day before for Garrett Gerthy. Calvin ripping a forehand. This is big shot from back there. Oh, and
That was tracking. Oh, and it still circles edge right there.
yeah, that little limb, that stopped it from being parked from way out of position. That was a great shot from Calvin. Speaking of Calvin, not a winner on the Disc Golf Pro Tour, but still a great season. In the National Tour, I know he finished in the top 10, but I don't have the stats in front of me what his national or his Disc Golf Pro Tour finishes were. But Chris Dickerson, as he tries to go tomahawk through the corner, he was really out of position. He'll probably have to go tomahawk again to get out of there. Chris only played 4 Disc Golf Pro Tour events all season, and having to play the very last one before this event, the Green Mountain Championship, just to qualify.
Yeah. Just to barely qualify.
Just to get into this event.
Similar to last year. Last year he played all 4 rounds of this tour championship to become the champion, and he's now in his 4th round. You could say that he's a little warmed up on this track.
And indeed, he's going tomahawk putter, almost making it. That's the creativity of being able to pull that out in that situation and almost make it and keep it stopped right by the basket. That shows why he's such a well-rounded player. But yeah, so Chris is trying to do the inevitable and repeat a pretty crazy 2018 finish to the season. I mean, he just kind of snuck up on the whole tour. Oh, Calvin just a bit high. Kevin for par.
Yep.
Committing to his shot, letting out a deep breath of relief as that putter left his hand, and Drew also in for par. So that'll be pars for the group on hole 3. A hole we haven't seen too much trouble from groups in the past, but if you're out of position off the tee, I mean, you can kiss your birdie goodbye, and that's what we saw from this group here. But no bogeys, so not a bad score for the group, I suppose. Hole 4 is a par 4, 610 feet, low ceiling with a slightly sunken tee. You have to kind of go over that little hillside, and you want to press the left side of that softball fence, leaving yourself a good position for an open either Anheuser putter or sidearm approach to this elevated basket. It's got a slope green towards out of bounds. There's a lot of elements to contend with on this hole. Initially, when we were putting this course design together, we weren't sure if we were going to have this hole in play because there was supposed to be a softball tournament going on this weekend as Calvin just annihilates this drive. Beautiful.
Destroyer, I'm guessing?
Yeah, that was a destroyer. I mean, and that was
He's
a foot
looking
off
at
the ground.
basket. That's so sweet.
Yeah, that's such a huge advantage on this hole.
This hole gives me the feels, though, because this is the hole that Macbeth tapped out on. And I'm curious to see if the Jomez boys I mean, they've got to remember. Oh my goodness!
And there's his one extra life. If you know, that's what,
that's amazing.
As he stays in bounds off the fence. But yeah, there's the one-up tie-dye job on. I think that's Chris's D2.
Yeah, D2, and Drew's got a Wraith in his hand. I'm really curious to see how hard he's going to hit this one.
Oh, Lord. Oh, goodness. That's so ridiculously good.
I mean, he kind of eased up on that one, too, it looks like, right? Like, he's so far up there. It's one of the furthest drives ever on the hole.
Yeah, it really is. That's a superhuman drive. Kevin is the only one to not get out of the gap cleanly. But you know what?
It's possible.
Being on the other side of that tree opens up the forehand approach. Yep. He'll be the first one to throw, but he has plenty of distance to get there from here.
He's going that same kind of glidey D2.
Oh, wow. This is looking really good. Oh, yes.
Wow.
That's a great shot. So, yeah, we were fortunate to be able to get this hole to play just because that softball tournament canceled the last second.
Oh, that's a little early from Chris. That needs to go.
And he does wrap around.
Just past the OB.
Yep. He'll be in bounds. And when you think about moments on this hole, you referenced Macbeth tapping out for his first world championship, but I think about the 30-footer that Sarah Hokum had to hit to win her first world title.
Oh, really? On this hole, she had to hit a 30-footer?
Yeah, she was 30 feet past the basket, had to hit a comeback putt, and it was one of the sickest moments I'd ever been a part of.
That's amazing. I got the chills. Let's go, Sarah.
And Calvin makes the same mistake that Drew made, and they're both actually fortunate to stay in bounds. The OB line, as you can see, is just to the right of that hole, and those were incredible drives, and all for naught, essentially. Calvin.
Does Calvin really block his eyesight with the basket?
You
with the
tell
putter?
me, man.
It
doesn't look like he can see, unless he's putting with Champion Plastic.
I've always pictured that he's just looking just over the top of the rim, staring down some chains. Maybe he's blocking it.
Hide and seek, man.
I kind of know someone else that doesn't look at the basket before they putt.
Paige Pierce.
Jerm. Koling.
Chris Dickerson,
All
big
right.
putt. They can't hurt you if they can't see you. Big putt from Dickerson. Calvin able to save the par, and look where Kevin Jones is from being the furthest drive back. An incredible approach. No.
No.
No. And
that one really hurts. I mean, that's to get him back to even, just 2 strokes back of our leaders.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the shortest putt he's missed all year. I can almost guarantee you.
I mean, it's the shortest putt I've seen missed, and it's just like a matter of like not going through his full routine.
Yeah.
And you talk about the advantages of Chris. He does that routine regardless of the distance of his putt, and that's what really makes him so consistent. And yeah, tough break for Kevin. He's got to learn from that and hopefully do better. Hole 5 is par 4, 585 feet. Most likely going to see putters and mid-ranges, maybe not putters, but mid-ranges and fairway drivers off the tee, trying to go to just past the rocks. And Chris is heading towards the rocks, and he will stay in there, and that is casual, but he will go back to the place that he crossed in.
Yeah, he could play it in there if he wanted to.
No, you have mandatory relief. You have to take it back.
Oh.
And Calvin, as well as in the rocks,
it's mandatory relief.
Yeah,
I feel like I saw a bunch of players playing in there.
Well, they played it incorrectly. But yeah, you play the shots in the rocks as if they went out of bounds, but without the penalty strokes.
This one needs to get down. Oh, get down.
And Drew has thrown the shot that I think will be rewarded next year. We're going to change this OB line a bit because I want it to be a difficult layup, and I want it to encourage the shot that Drew just threw.
Okay.
And I love his shot, but unfortunately, the way that the line is drawn right now, that is an out-of-bounds throw. Kevin Jones, this is what you're looking for right here, though. That's a great way to bounce back after a short putt like that, missed for birdie, can hurt you more than like an OB stroke or a bogey.
Yeah. It'll linger. This is a rock 3 from Calvin.
No, that wasn't his equal. Was that a rock 3?
Yeah, that was his rock 3, yeah. The big bird.
So coming up well short. Chris going with his M3. And that's a really high release. And look at what?
What a lift.
Look at that air bounce. And it is so dangerous to go backhand into that green.
Yeah, it's kind of funneling down toward that road on the left.
Mm-hmm. And good distance and speed and angle control to be able to avoid the road.
Oh, no.
Kevin with a bit of an awkward stance.
Pretty big miss from Kev. I mean, he had to reach around, but he's going to be at Circle 2's edge.
Forehand, hyzer
That
approach.
just needs to
Coming up short.
checks up.
That'll be for par.
Yeah, that's a tester for par.
Calvin, a conservative.
Are we not going? We're
run.
not going to see a birdie. Kevin's our only hope.
No. Chris Dickerson's putting for birdie.
Okay, thank you.
Not what he was looking for. Chris Dickerson wasn't.
Oh, there we go. There's our birdie.
Was what he's looking for.
I mean, hole 5 is playing as one of the easier holes on the course.
Yeah, I definitely think that this is a hole that you step up to and you're thinking this is a must-get birdie.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. The pressure
Is he going to double?
double bogey.
Oh, no.
One thing I know for a fact, you are listening to this right now. The only way that you know that I said that is if you're listening to this. And if you are listening to us, throw a buck into Patreon, man.
Yeah.
That's what brings us to you. If you enjoy this, man, do it. JomezPro.com/Patreon or Patreon.com/JomezPro. One of the two. You figure it out, man. You figure out how you're going to put money into this production. You figure it out.
These guys are just killing it, though. I'm so thankful for having Jomez in our sport.
I think we all are. Chris,
And
ripping on the D2.
He just needed that to flip up just a little bit. He's going to hyzer on out to 50.
Yeah, it's
He's
about
got a 50-footer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 45, 50 feet. Calvin is, I believe, throwing a destroyer, maybe? It's so hard to tell when somebody throws as hard as he does. What makes a disc fly this straight?
Yeah.
That is so good. I mean, to land a disc inside the circle without going over the road at any point is so technically skilled. Kevin, a bit early release. He is so good at that hyzer flip-up shot.
Yeah, he really is.
We saw him put his drive 20 feet away yesterday. That's going to be a little bit further back. And Drew, let's see if he can maybe unleash a little bit of frustration.
Angry Drew. Double bogey Drew.
Yeah.
And there's that Wraith again. You got that one to flip up. That is tracking. Skip.
Oh my God.
What a shot.
That is a dream shot. That is.
Yeah, here we go.
That is incredible. And this is a little bit more ideal as far as the line goes, like just barely getting it out towards the road, but with a disc that's not going to get a big skip, I mean, you can't really draw it up much better than that.
If you're trying to learn how to throw far, I would definitely recommend referencing Drew's.
Yeah, just somehow
His
figure
footwork.
out how you can get your ape index.
Load those hips.
The ape index is your width to height ratio. Oh, let's just talk about this real quick. Chris Dickerson is look at this start.
For 3 in a row.
Yeah, and 4 down through 6 holes. And I mean, at this point, Kevin's got to be thinking to himself, he's going to take a par in this one. He's 5 back already. I mean, you're trying to catch Chris Dickerson and you're 5 back, and you've already played 6 holes.
Drew and Kevin both are going to be 5 back even after Drew birdies this one. I mean, Kevin hasn't birdied yet.
Wow. Calvin maintaining right there. Not just maintaining, he's off to a really good start as well. 3 under through 6 is great. And he had a little bit of struggle in that little par 4 section, 3, 4, and 5. But if he gets things going now, this is a very attackable stretch, these next 6, 7, 8 holes.
Yeah.
Hole 7, par 4, 641 feet.
Love this hole.
Yeah, it is one of the classics out here at Hornets Nest. It is just
so that's the original pin.
That's the placement that's been here ever since I've been playing disc golf, and that was the original design. And this is a brand new pin position just around the corner, and it adds just a little bit extra difficulty.
Yeah, it's great for us. Forces a forehand.
I agree.
Look at this slow turn.
Yeah.
He really wants that on the right side, but
I think left side's fine too. It opens up the opening towards the pin just a bit more. And I mean, I think you just want to not be pinned behind a tree. Calvin, this is low. As long as it doesn't. Yep, that's fine.
Wow. Low, but he's throwing it so hard and just going so forward. He passed Chris's shot.
That's
crazy.
Yeah, it is awesome. Is this that same Wraith?
It is, dude. The past 2 days, he has thrown the 2 furthest drives on the hole that the hole's ever seen. I mean, he was almost looking at the basket.
Gosh, that is awesome.
That is even go Wraith off the tee.
Yeah, I do, but I throw sidearm 200 feet shorter than that.
Going forehand.
Kevin going flex.
This looks perfect.
Yeah, this is looking really good.
Just pick a side. Pick a side.
Yeah, and that hasn't quite picked a side, but we'll see what he can muster from there. Chris not really getting the skip that he probably thought he'd be getting.
Yep.
Kind of a dead skip, but he'll have a long look at birdie. That is a committed throw.
Yeah.
Getting through the gap, 20 feet away. Well done.
Unless Chris can knock down another big one, it looks like Calvin's going to be tying it up here.
Kevin with an early release, but he gets through the gap. That's a long putt, but
not quite what he's looking for, but
yeah,
he needs to get one of these jumpers to stick.
And Drew to go birdie after the double bogey, and he will do so with a good approach. But continuing that thought from hole 6, Drew Gibson has really long arms, and
really,
and yeah, like
it's known
much longer arms than the height of his body. So that's
playing a role.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, and long arms, longer arms than your height. Your width to height ratio translates the distance, and also power. So like a lot of pitchers, a lot of quarterbacks, people that throw things far and hard usually have a positive ape index, is what they call it.
Okay.
So,
well, for those of you out there that don't have long arms, it's not over. You can,
it's over, dude.
No,
it's over.
I mean, I have long arms. I haven't figured it out yet. So, pull up the Jomez, rewind Drew's shot.
He just really
watch how he loads those hips.
He's got a strong core, and so when he's coming through the hips, he is bringing so much power into his throw that those arms are just unfurling so much energy, and it's just like you almost hear his arm like smack the air.
The tattoos help.
The tattoos definitely help. Definitely. And 3 birdies for our card on hole 7. We're back to disc golf action. Sorry, folks. Moving on to hole 8. Par 3, 285 feet. This is another one of those par 3s that you really, I think you can categorize it under the must get. It is a little bit tricky, obviously, with at this elevated green here on the man-made mound.
A little staggered gap. I love the indicators on the tree that let you know you got to beat this tree and you got to go in front of this tree.
Yep, those indicators.
I've never seen that on a course before.
Are marked with little yellow. I don't know if that's necessarily, if the Charlotte Disc Golf Club put that in there or if that's just there. But Calvin uses that to his advantage and left himself a good 29 footer.
Yeah, it's a little death putt action.
It is.
Yeah.
A missed putt from there usually goes to about 40 feet.
Somewhat rare forehand from Drew, but that is just based.
Yeah, and hitting the wall and rolling back just a bit. He'll have an uphill 25-footer.
Oh, yeah.
This is what you're looking for. And I think that's on that second step. So that'll be just a tap in for Kevin.
Look at that warm-up.
Chris going with a low skip shot, I believe, with his H1.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the no ace H1. Oh, and it's rolled, it looked like. Yeah.
The no ace?
Yeah, I think a couple of discs in Chris' bag, I've drawn a basket and drawn a circle with a line over it saying no aces for you. And I think that was one of those discs. And he has an ace with either one of those discs that I wrote on, and it's driving him crazy.
That's funny. Big.
Yeah, yes. And Calvin Heimburg has taken the lead. 5 under. There's a gobble gobble turkey stretch for Calvin.
Cue the graphic, guys. Where's our turkey graphic?
That comes in Thanksgiving. Drew. Another short missed putt.
Oh, you see him actually grab his back right there. I know that he's been dealing with an issue that just arose during this event. No.
And that is another 3-putt for Drew Gibson through the first 8 holes. What looked to be a birdie is now turned into a bogey. Oh, so quick.
Oh, my goodness.
I know. It makes your heart kind of skip a little bit when you see somebody throw a turbo.
I just can't even imagine.
I know. And have you seen people do a little flutter throw putt from tap-ins?
Kev will do that as well. And every time I'm just like,
I don't want to see it. I have to turn away.
He says it's 100%, or if he's doing it, it's 100%. So
yeah. And you can see right there the way that Drew kind of bent down to pick up his disc. He's in some discomfort. I ended up talking to him about it, and he said that his back was in so much pain that he joked with Jeff Spring, "Can I not play this final event?" Obviously, he wanted to play. He definitely came in with all the motivation to win. But Calvin Heimburg, Chris Dickerson, off to hot starts. 5 down for Calvin through 8 holes. Chris Dickerson 4 down. These two are definitely starting to separate themselves pretty strongly against the other 2 players. But
yeah, Kev's 4 back. It's not impossible.
Sure, there's plenty of things that can happen on this course. We get the hole 9 here, par 4, 534 feet. Just a simple layup shot to the mouth. Just have to be very precise with that distance.
It's a sensitive landing zone for sure. Too short and you're pinched. Too long and you're pinched.
Calvin going with the eagle. Try to get a little bit of that hyzer skip into the gap.
Yeah, that's going to be tricky right there. He's going to be up against that long side of the gap. You can either choose to lay this one up in the mouth or try and get up in it. Oh, and wow,
that's
that
the
one
best kick of all time.
It's right back into
the
money zone.
You don't even mind being 70 feet back of the gap. As long as you have a straight shot to the pin, you can get to the basket. The fairway is relatively wide if you have the lane.
Oh, no. Chris laughing that one off. He's hitting the dead center tree. Drew grabbing at his back again. I can just feel the pain that he's going through.
Chris just laying up to the sweet spot.
Oh, yeah.
Gavin ripping on the putter.
That's circle one.
Great approach shot. Drew is just a little bit pinched off to the right. He's going to have to throw an Anheuser. Gone up high. Push the right side or the left side of the fairway, flexing back down the middle. It's about as good as you can do from there.
Yep. It's a beautiful angle.
Calvin using the whole fairway as well.
Oh, yeah.
Finishing out. He's inside the circle as well. That's a great shot. If you're out of position, it is so difficult to pick up that birdie. Chris just trying to save his par.
Oh, squeaks by it.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that is a great
That's game
shot.
changer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was close to hitting a lot of different trees.
Calvin taking another one on Chris.
Ooh. That's as high as you can make it. Chris going to eventually get up for his par. And the 4 down front 9 feels good, but it doesn't quite feel as good when Calvin Heimburg rattles off 4 consecutive to finish the front 9 at a 6 under score.
Yeah,
and
Chris lost 3 in the last 3 holes.
And really was a limb away on hole 3, a bad approach away on hole 4. And he didn't play 5 particularly too great, but I mean, he was very close to being 8 under on the front 9. So he is playing incredibly well right now. We've got 9 holes left in the Disc Golf Tour season. Folks, if you leave now, I don't even want to hear about it. I don't want to.
Dude, it's
who's not going to leave? Gabriel Grindel's not leaving. No. Blake Elliott, they're sticking around because they're Jomez Founder Club members.
All right. Thanks to all the supporters for making this possible for us.
All right, guys, 9 holes left. We're going to bring it to you right now.